I just think, you know, the physical representation of music is really important, and it definitely it makes you value it more. I'm not like an audiophile, or you know, I don't think that vinyl is the warmest and best way to listen to music. If people want to listen to CDs or MP3s or stream, whatever, like music is music, it's fine. Like I said, by virtue of necessity, like so much of the stuff that I want only exists on the 45, and that way it makes it a commodity that is still rare. Where in music has kind of lost its value to a degree because there isn't that, like, you know, it's like, oh man, I really want to find this record. I got to go to this 5 different record stores to see if they have it, whatever. That hardly exists anymore. But with 45s, if you can't find it, you're never going to hear it. You know, especially with gospel records, because most of the time that stuff's not online. You can't Google it. You can't YouTube for the song. You got to find the record and play it. That's it. That's the only way. You know, I've been listening to and buying soul records for, you know, more than 10 years now. You can never know everything about soul music. There's so much, but it's in a way a little bit easier to get the lay of the land. And so when I look through soul records, you know, probably, you know, there's only one record out of 10 or one record out of 20 even that I'm like, oh, what's this? It's interesting to me. But with gospel records, there's so much regional variation. There's so much music that just didn't go from place to place. So, you know, if I'm looking at gospel records, you know, more than half the time I'm like, I've never seen this before, never heard of this group, never heard of this label. Even if there is a label, half the time it's just like vanity presses that people recorded their group at whatever, some local studio, and printed up 100 or 200 copies to just sell to the congregation or to their local fans, you know. So it's hyper regional and hyper local in a way that soul music can be, but most of the time is not. It's a more interesting representation that way, and you never know what you're gonna find when you look through a stack of gospel records, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think people have a hard time. They're intimidated by, especially the idea of 45s and buying records, and you know, luckily a place like this, you know, pretty much all of these gospel records are $2. $2 is really not a lot to spend on a 45, especially. So just like find something that looked cool and buy it, you know? Maybe put it on the listening station, maybe don't. It can be a little intimidating, and people do come up to me when I'm DJing, and you know, everybody's like in the age of Shazam, trying to hold up their phones, and you know, half the time, I mean more than half the time, the records that I'm playing are not on Shazam or online. You know, like I'll make mixes and put them up on SoundCloud or whatever, but I just tell people to go and look, you know, especially at a place like this is open. I would say that most of the records that are here are worth listening to, you know, even if, like, for me, like, a lot of this stuff I either already have or it's not necessarily in my wheelhouse. But if you're new to soul music or gospel or blues, R&B, whatever, there's so many records out there that are between 50 cents and $2 that are incredible. So don't neglect that stuff. It doesn't have to be rare, it just has to be good.